How long can a Starcraft 2 best of 7 series last? What is a scam? And how many grapes can one catch in the mouth within the 1 minute time frame? All of these questions will be answered in today's episode of Starcraft Today.
Starcraft Today.
Your favorite Starcraft news show. A drama-filled week in Starcraft 2, starting with this Reddit post, in which the guy who made the Reddit post said that he paid a player, SouLeer, Spanish Zerg, for coaching, but SouLeer only gave him one lesson and he paid something like 20 lessons. Decent chunk of money was involved there as well. SouLeer stating multiple reasons why he couldn't make it, saying family issues, bad weather in Spain, connectivity issues, and just having the weekend off. So a host of reasons. After this Reddit post hit the front page and got number one on Reddit for, well, I believe an entire day or a day and a half, more people came out of the woodwork saying that the same thing happened to them, that SouLeer messaged them on Discord and then they paid for the coaching up front. And after 1 or 2 lessons or 3 or 4 lessons, they didn't get a response no more. They did no more coaching. Some people did get refunded. Others who requested the refund did not get their money back. And this is all very, very unfortunate, obviously. It really sucks when you want to improve in StarCraft 2. You get scammed out of money. And I always do encourage people that have some type of issue where they paid for something and they didn't get it, or they did some type of work and they didn't get the money, to always post that on Reddit or to always make that public as quick as possible to put some public pressure on, as it really does suck when this happens, and it gives the other people who do coach in a legitimate way a bad name. Now, with that out of the way, I also want to talk a bit about the consequences for SouLeer. He's gotten kicked out of his team, and he obviously has a relatively bad reputation, as you can see by the memes that spawned out of this. But it's also important, I think, to give him the chance and the opportunity to come back into the scene and work on that reputation. He's a 20-year-old guy who, what he did wasn't correct, obviously, but I feel like this is more to do with bad time management and perhaps having a very sloppy administration and taking on too much responsibility at the same time, rather than him really being a bad faith actor. And I think that's important to note as well, that this is a young person that perhaps just overestimated the amount of time he would have, or overestimated how organized he could be. And the type of witch hunts that become very personal and then completely kick someone out of the scene without the opportunity to kind of revenge yourself or to have some type of redemption arc, I think that's not a good thing either. 2 days later, the bad news continued as we saw this tweet out of CreightonOlsen pop up on Reddit as well. I performed about $2,500 worth of work for DreamHack StarCraft 2 operations in May. I have still not been paid despite proper invoicing and months of follow-ups. They have also failed to honor a signed contract for more work with me. I don't think StarCraft 2 is in good hands. It's always painful to see someone not getting paid for work that they have performed already. $2,500 is a decent amount of money, so I can only imagine how upset you are with that. And also just constantly having to stress over having to get that money, having to fight for that money while you already performed the work is something that I personally have experienced, and I think a lot of people in esports have experienced. And when that happens, it never feels nice. I do have to state that ESL and DreamHack have honestly gotten a pretty decent reputation at always paying on time within the time frame that they state themselves and within the legal time frame. So I was very surprised by this. DreamHack also managed to fix the problem within a day, but usually if that is done within a day after public pressure, it's just not a very good look. Of course, I'm happy that it did get fixed in the end, and it seems to be some type of resolution there. It still just sucks. Enough with the drama, now it's time for StarCraft 2, as we saw the Pigsty Festival happen last week. 16 top players got invited and it was a banger of a tournament. Foreigners performing extremely well, not only in the group stage, in which we saw MaxPax advance over Parting and Gumio, in which we saw Clam get first place over Trap, in which we saw Showtime advance over Beyond, and of course in which we saw Raynor advance over Dream and SouLeer. No, they also did well in the bracket. MaxPax taking out Zest in the 3-2 fight. MaxPax did lose later on to Raynor in the semifinals, so Raynor was our first finalist. Then on the other side of the bracket, we had a semifinal between Serral and Trap. And this was a series, my friends, that lasted a very long time. Every single game went to the late game. Every single game took very long. The total series took 3 hours and 30 minutes. 3 hours and 30 minutes for a series. This is high-level StarCraft being played. for 500 APM for 3.5 hours long. I hope someone checked on the wrist of both Serral and Trap after this, because that really is not okay. Holy crap. It's actually the longest, highest level series that I have ever seen. I don't think this has ever happened before. Just 30 minutes on average, these games. Absolutely bananas. And after Serral played that series, and after he advanced into the finals, he also won the finals on that same day against Rainer 4-2. So very impressive out of Serral, who once again shows us that he is very capable of winning tournaments, and he does it again. Big up to you, Serral. Good job. TSL 8 qualifier season has kicked off as 32 players need to get into the TSL 8. Loads of qualifiers are being held all the time, and I want to have a look at some of the big upsets that have happened over the past week. Starting, well, with my own run, as I think not a lot of people would have expected me to qualify. I managed to take out Special, Neep, Uthermal, and Maru in the finals match 3-1, all of course on the European server, so big advantages against Special, Neep, and Maru. Still did manage to do it, and I'm definitely a name that a lot of people wouldn't expect there. Then our second name that not a lot of people would expect there is also a European, and it's Vanya, who went on to the American server qualifier. So with a little bit of ping, playing all the way from Russia, took out SouLeer, Zaun, Time, qualified for the TSL 8 through the winner's bracket as well. Very, very impressive one, and not something a lot of people would have expected him to be capable of doing, as it is in the American times, it is all the way from Russia, it's with a little bit of ping, and Vanya isn't known to be a complete Korean slayer, but apparently he can do it. The final player I want to have a look at, who made a bit of an upset, is Spirit. The player formerly known as Sol lost the cure in the winner bracket after taking out Astrea there first. Beats Time, takes out Skilles, and then Zaun, the PVT expert from Korea, gets taken out by Spirit 3-2 in the qualifying match. And Spirit, as a European on America, also managed to qualify. The Europeans really in the past week have been showing the Koreans that they are capable of not only taking maps, taking series, and even taking them out in very important series, as we've seen in the Pigsty Festival and we've seen in these qualifiers. And for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to get a little bit of trust back in Europe. Another tournament started its qualifiers last week, and that's the King of Battles. Most people that qualified here were the usual suspects, although we did see Elaser slip through in Europe, managing to take out Rainer after a very long lower bracket run. And we also saw Mana managing to qualify in America, taking out SouLeer, Special, Sion, and Astrea all in a row to qualify through the winner bracket. So big run there out of the Team Liquid player as well. This is still going on. The next qualifier will be held tonight, and I'm very excited to see who else will make it into the King of Battles. This week's game of the week can only be Game 7 between Serral and Trap, as when two people play it already 3-hour lasting best of 7, they go into Game 7 and both of them decide to play that game with the utmost patience, with the decision making that basically looks like it's a Game 1 in a series, is just so insane to me. It isn't necessarily the greatest, the most entertaining or the most fun game, but just the level at which their decisions were, the speed at which they still played, and their patience just makes this the game of the week for me, and just because it's so extremely impressive. Of course, we also had 3 ESL Open Cups starting on the Sunday in Korea. We saw Ragnarok take a cup win, something we don't see every single week. Most of the time it's Zest or Beyond. This time Beyond fell to Linok. Didn't see Zest participate, so congrats to Ragnarok for that big win. In Europe, we saw Clem managing to take out Special in the semis. Then against Rainer in the finals, managed to win 3-2 as well. So another cup win added on there for Clem. And in America, the finals between Zest and Clem. And this time it was Zest who got the long end of the stick and managed to actually take out Clem 3-1 and take his 1 cup victory as well. No double winners this week. Clem got close, but no cigar. This week's clip of the week comes from the winner ceremony after Sion managed to take out Zest in the World Team League. And this is perhaps the most sophisticated winner ceremony that I have ever seen.
Fire away from the Stalkers. Zest types GG and Cyan celebrates double fist pump. Oh, Zest. Oh. That is perhaps the best celebration I've ever seen. He just deleted Zesta's best. Apparently Cyan is best with the 1-1.
That is going to be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today, but not before I tell you how many grapes one can catch within 1 minute. It's been achieved, of course, by an American, Ashrita Furman from New York City. Got 86 grapes within 1 minute. Congratulations, Ashrita. That is a very cool trick. That's going to be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today. I hope you had a great time. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. And we'll see you all next time for a new episode. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.